Hey cosplayers! Welcome to the Cosplay Apprentice, where I do my best to teach you how to forge your favorite fandom in reality. And I'm Skylar Osler, and in today's apprenticeship we're gonna be continuing to work on the Pauldron. So, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We got Ender Knight already on. Hey, how's it going? Awesome. All right. So we're going to keep working on the Pauldron tonight. I didn't get any progress on it since last week. So that way you guys could continue to follow along here with me. So I'm excited. If you guys remember, this is where we got to. This piece is going to fit right up on here. And then we were working on creating a piece that's the piece that's gonna come out over the shoulder here. So that's where we're gonna pick up from where we left off. Let's see, we got CC Wiz. Hey, what's up? Demon Jester. Hello. Wowza, welcome. Long time no see. We go Arachnoid. Welcome, man. Ender Knight. Cool, cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is I'm excited about this. So, as you can kind of see here, here's my little design of the Pauldron that we're making here. So, got basically this part done, this inside piece, and we kind of gave that a leather texture, kind of giving it kind of a leathery look on that for the underpiece, and then these are going to have kind of more of a metal look to them maybe. So that's kind of what we're going for. Demon Jester, thank you. Yeah, I love this thing. So for those of you that didn't see, he said nice apron. We're calling it either the cosplay apron or the Cosplay Apprentice. But yeah, thanks. You can actually, I have a link in the description. You can go get you one. I think Arachnoid is the one that already got one, and has a picture on our Build Guild page, and that was the coolest thing ever. So if you would like one, there's a link in the description of this video that will take you to my Spreadshirt merch channel or merch page. And you can get, you know, an apron like this, or t-shirts, or mugs, or whatever. Basically anything you can imagine with my logo on it, with the Cosplay Apprentice logo on it. So, yeah, check that out. All right, so let's jump in and get started. So, what I realized was that with this initial kind of cutout that we were doing just to kind of get started with, I realized that it's too, if you look at that, with the way I want it to sit, it's not thick enough right here, so I need to widen this out to get kind of more of the look that I'm going for. Here, where it actually comes down a little bit further and then comes in. This is just too skinny along this bend here from what I actually want it to be. So, first thing we're going to do is extend that, and I'm just going to do that just by adding some tape onto the edge here. So we can start with that. Let's see. Yeah, Arachnoid, yeah. Loving your apron. Good deal, I'm glad. It's kind of cool. I like how the string runs all the way through, like into the neck and then around. So it's really adjustable. You can, you know, cinch it up higher or lower depending on, you know, what you're needing and whatnot. So nice to be able to just throw on over my clothes when I like come home, because a lot of times I ruined a bunch of clothes just because I'd come home and just start working on stuff, and then I'd like accidentally get glue on it or something, or paint. And I'm like, oh dang it. So if nothing else, this at least creates an extra protective barrier. Let's see. Is there a link to your merch in the description? Wowza, yes, there should be. Let me double check on that. Yeah. So the link in the description says merch store, and then it's the link should say something about Spreadshirt on it. So Hopefully that answers your question there. Player Clifford W. Cool, love your vids. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome. I think this is the first joining the live stream. Welcome. We're glad to have you. Ender Knight. Got some EVA foam. It's so cool. Made a Destiny Hunter knife. Awesome. Yeah, no, EVA foam is so cool. You can make so many things from it. It's amazing. I'm glad you got some and are making cool stuff. If you haven't, join the Cosplay Apprentice, the build guild that we have going on. I've got a link to that as well in the description. That's the Facebook, our secret Facebook group. And post pictures of that Destiny Hunter knife. That'd be sweet. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So, I'm going to just add some tape on here to make this bigger. So that's the beauty of like when you're doing templates and stuff. If you cut something too small, you just throw some more tape on it and it's like it never happened. You just redraw, start over, not a big deal, and you move forward. So I'm just gonna I don't know how much I'm gonna need. I'm just gonna add like two little layers here. Oops, that's probably a little bit too much. Let's see. Okay. So, let's see. Join the build guild. And what glue do you use for your EVA foam? Great question. So I use contact cement. I use the Weldwood, DAP Weldwood contact cement. I find that it works really great. I've heard really great things about Barge as well. I think pretty much any contact cement's going to work. These are really easy to get at pretty much every hardware store. You can get it at Walmart as well in this format, as well as like this in kind of a larger bucket. You go to Home Depot or something like that and you can get like a big huge like gallon can or bigger. Yeah, I love this stuff. This one comes with a little brush applicator in it, and then this one is just the glue itself and you have to apply it with an applicator of your own, or I just use like a piece of scrap foam to do that. And yeah, great question. So make sure though that it does have some bad fumes from the glue, so don't do it in an enclosed, make sure you have good ventilation, a well ventilated area, and then it's also best to wear a respirator. I have a link to the respirator I use in the description as well. And you want to have an organic vapors attachment on that, just to be safe. So let's see. Wowza, just joined the build guild. Awesome, awesome. Cool, yeah, and then so all of you guys that are just joining, let me see. I might as well hop on and accept your guys' requests while we're doing the live stream, so that way you can already be on there. All right, so what I'm going to do is continue to draw along here to get an idea, to make sure I don't cut it too short again. I want to kind of bring in my let's see, I'll zoom this camera out a little bit for you guys. Hopefully you can see a little bit more. There we go. So, to get an idea here, I'm going to just kind of set that on there, and maybe this would be a better, this camera angle. So this center line, we can just line up with our center line here. Now I want, as you can see from our design, I know it's going to be really small on that camera now, but we want this to kind of sit on the edge here and have kind of a slight downward tilt. But this needs to come, this is going to be pretty straight here on the top. There won't be much of a curve like it is doing now with the paper when it's stiffer with the foam. And so I'm wanting it to be come down further before it comes over. So have the look of coming down more like this and then coming over. So we'll just kind of draw that on. Switch back to this camera angle here. And I'm also looking to see notifications. Build guild requests. I'll get you guys out. Yeah, it's a great group. Everybody on there so far is super awesome, super helpful. So, feel free to post, your progress on stuff. We'd love to see, your cool stuff you're making, everybody's making. And then also love to see, or, we can, if you have run into problems, roadblocks in your project, feel free to hop on there and say, hey guys, I'm dealing with this. What you have any suggestions or anything? And everybody's been super helpful. We've had lots of great interaction there so far. Post your sweet pictures of your cosplay apprentice swag, and and any cool things that you guys make. So we just want it to be a fun community that's like open, friendly, that everyone can feel comfortable and have a positive environment where we can all grow and learn together and have some fun. So, all right. So I liked where this started. I just need it to come down a little bit further before it comes up. And so I'm going to give it kind of more of a harsh bit coming up like there, like that. And we'll just extend this just a tad bit as well. So let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty cool. I don't think I need as harsh of an angle there. I can kind of round that out a little bit actually and still get kind of what I'm going for. So, and then two, once I got it at that angle there, I realized, let me see, this is behind the stuff. I realized that this doesn't need to come, I kind of angled it down. It can actually come across more like this to get the look that I'm going for. Ran out of space there, just right on that corner. There we go. Okay, so that can come across a little bit more like that. And then this doesn't need to come as sharp of an angle and can kind of come out a little bit more like that. Okay, so then the beauty of folding this in half is I don't need to try to draw this twice. We just fold this in half, and I'm gonna try to stick some scrap tape on the back of one of these so that it's not so they don't stick together and cause us problems trying to get it apart. There we go. Okay, so I saw I had a couple comments. Give me just a second and I'll check those out. Okay, let's see. What did I miss? Okay. Come on now, we can get more than 3 likes. Yeah, wowza. Thank you so much for always encouraging everybody to like and comment and everything. I love that. What do you do with scrap EVA foam and how do you store it because it gets cumbersome? Great question. So I'm still working on that, but I do have, let me see it, upside down. Hello. So you guys can look at this upside down. It's going to be kind of weird. But, so I just got like a big box. I'm not sure where this box came from. I probably got it from some store or something that had it sitting outside. Or something. But, if you can kind of get a big box, or even if you just get like a tote from like Walmart or something like that in their storage areas, just a big plastic tote. I like to take my rolls of foam and kind of set those in a box of like the whole complete foam piece that still have quite a bit to them. Stick those rolls in there, and then I have kind of a big box that I put the scraps in. Just to kind of have them, the scraps in there, and then you can kind of pick through them at different times when you need like need different pieces or something smaller. You just grab that little scrap piece, do it, or you just rip off a piece to help glue something or whatever. So yeah, great question on that. And then let's see. I'm gonna probably say your name wrong, and I apologize. Denise Alvarez. Just found your channel yesterday. I'm an amateur cosplayer, but thanks to your videos, got inspired to do Wonder Woman cosplay. Awesome! Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching my videos and everything. I hope that they're helpful to you. Feel free to ask if you run into any problems, questions. Feel free to comment on those videos, ask questions, or reach out. Happy to help. And good luck on your Wonder Woman cosplay. That's exciting. Welcome to the Build Guild. Can you make Spider-Man cosplay series? There aren't many in YouTube. I noticed that just the other day. I was trying to look up how to make a Spider-Man costume, and there really isn't much. Most everything that shows up when you type in how to make a Spider-Man costume is just like Spider-Man costume unboxing videos, and there's not really anything saying how to make them. There's a bunch of web shooter videos, but no costume or like how to make a Spider-Man face shell or anything like that. So I'm definitely considering it because Spider-Man's like my favorite superhero ever since I was a kid. So great suggestion. I'm definitely considering that. Thank you. We'll see when I might get around to that, and I'm a little nervous just because it's like, you know, Spider-Man's my favorite, and I don't want to like ruin it. You know, try to make it and have it be horrible and be like, oh man, I failed you, Spider-Man. But that's okay. We can't let our fears govern us, so I'll tackle it once I get through some of the other projects that I have going on. All right, so now I'm just cutting this out, fold it in half, so that way we've got symmetrical on both sides. Voila. Cool. Okay, so I think we're a lot closer to what I'm wanting on this now. Yeah. I don't know if you guys how well you can see that with switch camera angles. So there we are. That's looking a lot more like what I was hoping for when I drew it. So you can see here much closer to what we're going for with this here. So all right, so what we're gonna do now is I kind of want to build out this piece and get it ready to go in foam, and then put it on here, and then kind of draw out some of our other stuff from there. Make sure that that works in foam now that we've seen it in paper. So let's go ahead and jump to that. Switch them back, and I've got my handy dandy foam floor mat here. So now on this piece, I was anticipating trying to do the actual textured side for this underpiece, because there's going to be this underpiece, and then there's another piece that's going to go in over the top of it. and I thought it might be cool to kind of have some texture there. I am concerned though with the thickness of this, if that's going to have the look that I want on this. And so I'm wondering, because I would want to taper it maybe, but then I don't have the textured look on the taper of it. So then, sorry, you guys get to be part of my thinking aloud process here. That's okay. We'll just do that. Yeah, we'll taper it, and then it'll just have the design on the top, the texture on the top. Okay, cool. So in that case, if we're gonna taper it, I want to draw this on the trying to figure out which side I want to draw the design on for cutting it. So if I do it on this side, then I'll cut out with the angle. Yeah, I'm going to do that just because it's kind of a little bit harder to get through this rubberized side than it is through the foam side, and so I want to have that be the first part I'm cutting through, so that part's nice and clean, rather than having problems with it going the other way. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this on camera for you guys. There we go. Okay. So take our handy dandy marker, and actually I'm going to use a couple little push pins just to hold this in, or not, yeah, sewing pins here. Just hold down our corners, make sure everything kind of lays flat. Madison Campbell's watching. Shout out to Madison Campbell. Welcome to the live stream. All right, here we go. Now we're going to trace this. Can you guys believe that Thanksgiving is already next week? It's like a week from today. I can't believe that. It's like November just disappeared. I feel like Halloween was last week. It's the way it goes, right? Time flies when you're having fun. Got myself a little tomato pin cushion here. That I'm borrowing from Olivia. All right. Oh shoot, dang. Dang it. So what I just realized was that I'm wanting to cut a bevel on this, and I didn't give myself very much room on this edge, so I'm gonna have to just shift this up and retrace it. So there you go. That's how cosplay goes. As my father-in-law always says, the best work we do is the work we redo. So we're going with that. Will just mean that this is going to be even better than it was going to be because we redid it. All right. Let's see. Tyler Marion, hey, what's up, man? Sup, cuz? I love it. Welcome. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm just making a pauldron. What's up with you? Let's see. I'm just gonna check and see if there's anybody that I missed accepting to the Build Guild. For sure, after the stream, I'll go through, and anybody that's submitted during the live stream, I'll get you guys added. Measure twice and cut once. Yep, that's right. Randy Fence, welcome, welcome. Great advice right off the bat. CC Wiz is back. Ender Knight, my boys were PJ masks for Halloween, and I think we have some stuff on my Instagram of them. If not, I need to make sure I get on there and put some on. So, okay. So now we just need to remember. Maybe I'll scratch off the inside one, so I know not to cut along those lines. Okay, cool. Hopefully that clues me in to not cut along. All right. So, doing good, just toughing out the rainy season here in Washington. Oh man, yeah, I bet. I've heard it's been pretty crazy. Record rainfall up there, right, this year? Yeah, let's see. What are your thoughts on selling on Etsy? CC Wiz, are you asking me about, like, what are my thoughts about me selling stuff on Etsy? Or are you just saying, like, in general, what are my thoughts on selling stuff on Etsy? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my handy dandy trusty wood burning soldering iron hot knife thingy. It's everything you need for your heat melting needs. I love using this for cutting cutting the foam because you know, you've got the razor blade on it, which is nice, and it cuts and everything, but then the added heat element of it really helps you get like really nice sharp cuts, and it kind of like seals the edges as you go when you're cutting it too. So I'm really a big fan of this. So that's what we're going to use, especially for cutting these angles. It's nice to have that heat addition. So basically I'm just going to hold this. I want kind of a like sharp bevel. So I'm going to hold this at kind of a severe angle here. And I want to start past where I want to cut, just so that I can make sure I get it pressed in the way I want, and then cut. And then I cut a little bit past it on the other side. And voila, look at that. Beautiful cut. Okay, then the same thing here. A little bit past where I want to start. And then cut through a little bit. You want to do that where you can. You're not always able to necessarily. Like on tighter, interior cuts and stuff like that, you can't really start past it, but you just want to try to be able to get those corners as clean as possible. And then also too, with doing the bevel, it helps to go past, because like in this corner, for example, because I went past, it's gonna bevel out like this. So I'm gonna be able to get the bevel along the whole corner, if that makes sense. You guys will see once I kind of cut this out what I'm actually talking about there. Tricky part is getting those same angles, keeping the angle and making your angle cut around at the same time. Let's see. Tyler said, "Do you have a foam cutter?" I don't. Well, I have like a styrofoam slicer kind of thing, but I tried it on this kind of foam and it doesn't really do what I need it to. And it kind of gets gummed up and gets sticky pretty easily with a lot of this stuff. You got to clean it off really frequent. But yeah, let's see. Maddie's excited about the live stream. CC Wiz says in general, but talking about you. Okay, about me too. I have all my sales and stuff I do through my my course. If you go to cosplayapprentice.com, www.cosplayapprentice.com, then that's my store. So I just kind of have my own store that I sell stuff through there, and then I have my merch store. I haven't really done anything with Etsy. Partially because I don't want to I don't have the time to deal with fulfilling orders, and so I just kind of stick with selling digital products rather than physical products, just because I don't have the time really to try to make sure that I'm fulfilling orders, taking stuff to get shipped out, etc. But like, as far as in general, I think I hear of a lot of people that sell stuff on Etsy, and I see a lot of great stuff on Etsy. I'm sure that there's some people that do pretty well on there, and some great cosplay stuff that you can get on there for pretty good prices. So. For me, it's not really for me, but I wouldn't steer people away from it as an option for them if it fits their lifestyle and their what they're doing. So hopefully that answers your question. I can't buy a heat gun due to the fact that you live in Honduras, and those can be expensive. Shoot. Well. I know some people that will that if they don't have a heat gun. I've heard of some people using like a electric stove, or putting their foam inside of an oven, like a toaster oven or different things, to try to heat it up and then be able to shape it. Saying a lot. Or I've heated stuff up over, I wouldn't recommend this as much, but it did work. I've heated stuff up over like a flame before. You just have to be really careful. So I wouldn't recommend that one. Dangerous. Everybody be careful. Don't play with fire. But yeah, hopefully it's one of those options might work for you. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with like Honduras and the shopping options that they have. Probably online, if you're able to, is going to be where you get the best, but I don't know what shipping looks like. Costs to ship to Honduras or anything. So wish you the best of luck in that, and let me know if you have any more questions on that or anything, if there's anything I can help with. And then let's see. Tyler Marion, you're going to be the next Adam Savage. Thank you. Wow, that's a serious compliment. Adam Savage is amazing. Oh, that'd be way cool if I could, even if I could just be untested and like do something with them. That would be so cool. But yeah, thank you. That's an awesome compliment, or awesome confidence as well in me and my potential. So I appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you. Okay, so we'll put that away for now. Let's take a look at what we've got. Okay, so we've got these nice fun bevels on here. You can see there's still kind of some little scraggly bits and stuff up here, especially along the rubberized part where the blade may kind of catch. See if you guys can see that. It may kind of catch and kind of shred the foam a little bit along this top part, but for the most part it's pretty clean, pretty smooth. You know, it may need a little bit of cleaning up, but all the tricks I like to do, you can try hitting it with the heat gun, or kind of hit the edge a little bit with the like your little just a little campfire starter thingy or whatever, barbecue starter, and that will kind of cause those little fringy pieces to kind of curl up. Oh, got a little too close there, kind of burnt it a little bit. So I don't know if you can see on those two that I just did how it's quite a bit more smooth now. But yeah, so that's kind of a little trick there. Sometimes you can just hit it with the heat gun and that's enough to kind of get those to, or a lighter or something like that. And then you can kind of use the back of it just to kind of rub it smooth as well. If it's really bad and it's not just these little things, then you'll probably want to go over it with some like sandpaper or something a little bit more to get it a little bit smoother before the thing. All right, just a couple more edges here to do. Hopefully you guys are seeing this okay. It's hard to remember to keep things in frame, kind of get focused on stuff. Let's see, a couple. Dancer Girl, 1980 up. Late but here. Did I hear Olivia? She's actually not feeling well again tonight, so she is not going to be tuning in with us, unfortunately. But Wait, did I never do that? Hold on, sorry, just a second. Okay, sorry. My computer was telling me something. I got distracted for a second. So she's not gonna be joining us tonight. Notice you're still using your glove. Light must work well. Yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. It's come in handy a couple times, especially. And now that my marker's starting to kind of run out of juice too, I'm gonna start switching back to the pen and drawing on the black. It helps a lot to be able to help that show up. But for those of you that are wondering what she's talking about, I've got this cool that actually has these LED lights built into it. And so sometimes when you're cutting and you've drawn on it, like on the foam with like a black pen instead of the silver one that shows up a lot better, it can be hard once you get going to see where you've drawn. And so turning this light on, it kind of allows the reflection of the ink to kind of reflect back, and it's easier to see the line and stuff like that. So I've been wearing this when I'm working on stuff. It's kind of a fun little glove. Got it on Wish, for those of you that are familiar with that. Okay, cool. Well, I think we've got that mostly smoothed out there. We can do some more finishing stuff later on. So, to do, if you guys remember in the design here, we'll have to mark. So I folded it right here and right here, because actually that's how I kind of want. I want this to be kind of more of a flat top on it, and then angled down off of each side. And so what we're going to do to get that effect on our foam is we're going to do some undercuts. So what we need to line on our piece here, but we need to mark it on the underside so that we know where we're going to be. So this is the top. This is going to be the top, the visible side. And so what I'm going to actually do is mark these lines, but then I'm going to transfer them down to the underside when we draw. So we kind of have this come to a point right there, and this one fold comes to a point right there, and then on this side, right there, and right there. Make sure we're lined up. Got this? Okay. So then what I'm going to do is where I drew those, you can see here, I'm going to just kind of continue that line through. And then give myself a little mark on the back side where that line was. So then that way, can then take our handy dandy ruler and just mark a line from point A to point B, and from point B to point C. Okay. All right, so now what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna do an undercut. Now, I don't want it to be a 90-degree angle that this folds over at. I want it to kind of sit at like a, you know, kind of bend down, but then I want it to bend out. So what we're gonna do to create that effect with this undercut is we're gonna do a straight cut, and then we're going to do a slight angled cut. So I'm still coming up with a name for what type of cut this is, because, you know, if you have like a 90-degree or like a 45 and a 45, then you're going to have like a valley. And if we're just scoring it to go the other way, then that's just scoring it. But I'm trying to think of what we should call like the offset. You know, it's kind of like a check or like a, I don't know, valley and wall. I don't know. So if you guys have any good ideas for what we can call that, like straight cut with an angled cut, I'm open to ideas. We gotta have cool ways of referring to things, you know? That's what we do, yo. Alright, let's see. Denise, sharing the channel with your friends that need good ideas on how to work on their cosplays. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, thank you to all of you too that have been sharing the channel and telling people about it and everything. That's awesome. I appreciate it so much. Our house and my friends have been through the sick ringer too. Yeah, no, it's not fun. And once one person in the family gets it, then it just goes through everybody. So I feel like I'm starting to come down with something too. See you soon. Tyler will be back in a second. Quarter fold. Okay, nice. That's an option. Amber, thank you. Or rather, cut instead of fold. Quarter cut. Nice, nice. Yeah. Okay, so, whoops. So I want to give this just a little, I can't remember if I already did this or not, but might as well do some more. So it helps to make sure that your blade is nice and sharp for this. Now we're not going to cut all the way through. So some of you guys have already seen me do this type of thing. We did some on this piece last week, but for those of you that haven't seen this before, or when we did like the Nightwing abdominal, we're not going to cut all the way into it enough to cut out like a little slice. So you'll see what I'm talking about here. So that was our straight cut. Now we're doing the angled cut. Sometimes on the angled one, might need to go back through again just to make sure you got through all the way. And this doesn't have to be a super clean cut here on the back because nobody's going to see it, hopefully. Alright, so let's see if we can't get in here. Sometimes it's hard to know if you got through, went far enough for different things. There we go. And I cut kind of deep with this. You don't have to do as deep of a cut to be able to get this same effect. Obviously, the deeper that you do make it without going through on the other side, the sharper that edge is. Create the edge on the opposite side. There we go. So you guys can kind of see how we got that there. If you look at it from this side, you can see our little quarter cut that we do. It's straight on this edge, and then we got the angled one coming in from that side. So now on the other side, so we just did that here. Now we're going to flip it over, do the same thing. We want the straight edge on the inside and the angled one on the outside. So that you can see what's going to happen when we do that, when we bend that in and glue that down. It's going to give us this kind of hard angle or harder angle right along that seam. And it looks like we have a little bit of room. We could still go deeper on some spots, like right up here at the front. I might actually do that. So hopefully that little bit deeper will help get a nice shot. I think we did pretty well everywhere else. So, all right. So now on this next, do we have any questions on that? Okay. Here we go again. Okay, so just the same thing here again. How many people do we have on? Who all do we have on still? I'm just curious. If you guys are on, put in the chat. Let's hear you guys say, cosplay is legit. Sometimes I wish these were like live workshops where you guys were actually all like here and like it could hear the questions being asked and all that stuff and answer, and we could hang out. Okay. Go. All right, so that kind of gives us an idea there of what we're looking at. Yeah, let me switch camera angles for you guys. So that's looking pretty sweet. I think that bevel turned out pretty cool. So now we're gonna pull out the hot glue and we're gonna actually, you know what we're gonna do for this one? Because I want this to be kind of more permanent and not have any, like if I accidentally leave it in the car, come undone or something on this one. We're gonna put contact cement inside of these little edges in here. So let's see who we have. Who do we have? Amber's here. She the only one? All right. Well, guess it's just you, Amber. Okay, so we're going to pull out the contact cement here, so I'm just going to put on my mask because I'm kind of in a small space here. And I want to make sure, and also want to make sure I'm being safe and protecting my health, as should you guys. And I have a link to in the description as well for where I got this mask and everything. It's really awesome because I can just, has this quick latch where it just tightens it down into place. And if I need to like take it off and talk or grab a drink of water or something like that, it's really easy to just put on and off. Okay, so here we go. I need to found that one problem with putting them in the ketchup mustard bottle, things like this, is that they're not super like airtight, and so the over time, like you kind of just want to put enough in there if you're going to be using it frequently. Put some in there, and then you use it up and everything, and then refill it. Because if you let it sit in here for too long, like too many days working on a project and it still has a lot in there, the air will get in there, it'll start to dry out, and it'll start to thicken up a lot. And then it becomes hard to use in the becomes hard to get out of the container. So my friend Brad watching with me, so this isn't just me. All right, cool. Well, at least we got a good group of us here. So all right, so what we're gonna do is we've got these undercuts that are gonna give us this cool edge on the other side, and we're gonna glue those together with this contact cement. So here goes. So I'm just kind of getting a bunch in there, and then I'm going to spread it around. Okay, so then I've got the scrap piece of foam. I like to just kind of take the scrap piece of foam and cut it to like a sharp triangle, so that way you have like an edge to be able to kind of reach down into grooves and kind of get stuff spread out. Might need to put some more in that one. Alright, so I need to get even more in there. Didn't quite get everything coated as I would like. So you can see how kind of gummy this is already. It's sitting in here for a while. It to get like really thick. It's like partially dried already, kind of thing. So on the bright side, it might dry quicker for us. But on the not so bright side, it's really a lot harder to spread. Usually it should be a lot thinner consistency, more liquidy. I've probably put way more than I need in here, but just trying to make sure I get everything covered well. Especially along these edges here, we want those edges to be nice and clean. A nice like clean bond there. Oh yeah, Amber, that's a good thought. Mix it with some like acetone or something like that. Try to thin it out. I wonder if it's like, if it's an alcohol base as well, I might be able to just put some like in there to thin it out as well. That's a good thought. I hadn't thought about that. I have noticed that like adding new, if I add new contact cement to it, it kind of thins it out a little bit as well. So that must be kind of the same effect of whatever's in the newer, thinner stuff. Kind of helping dissolve it all into itself a little bit better. Now you got me curious what's all in this. All right. Cool. So, let's see. While we're waiting for that to dry, let's take a look. So what's in it? Do they not have to say what's in it? Okay. Contains petroleum, naphtha, methyl ethyl ketone, and toluene. Cool. So I think naphtha, I don't know about petroleum. Naphtha is kind of like a paint thinner type of thing, right? So yeah, I wonder if we might be able to add something like that in there to thin it out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to let that dry for just a second. And while we do that, I'm going to get the heat going on this water here. And if you can see in the design, I've kind of got like this ring that attaches to the leather part that we've made, and then attaches to like the belt part that's going to go around underneath the other arm. So that ring, rather than trying to find a like big bulky metal ring that might be kind of hard to work with, we're just going to make one out of our moldable thermoplastic, our Polyplastic's moldable thermoplastic here. So I'm just getting some water heating up. For those of you that aren't familiar with this material, sorry, it's still kind of stinky. It comes in these little like beady-sized pellets, plastic beads kind of thing, and you throw it in hot water. And they all get really moldable, transparent. You can into like a ball or whatever, and you can shape it into whatever you want. And you can reheat. It cools to a hard plastic. Cools to a hard plastic, and then you can reheat and reshape it as many times as you want. This stuff is amazing, and if you've seen a lot of my videos, you see I use it a lot because it's so versatile. And you can, any piece that, I don't know how I'm going to make that. I just know, well, I can always make it out of this. So super awesome stuff. So we'll be showing you how to kind of work with that here in a second. Still kind of stinky, so I'm going to keep this on. Sorry about the levels with it, probably. But let's see. So yeah, so we're going to make kind of that ring there, right?
And then that'll allow us, we're going to make two of them because there's one on the back and one on the front. And then we're going to talk through, I don't know if we'll get to the strap today or not, but we can, we're going to do this other piece up here on this, figure out how to attach it onto the arm Pauldron piece. And then this belt piece, leather effect, like what we did on the thicker over the shoulder piece. We'll do it on craft foam though, and then we'll wrap that around like a nylon webbing. So that way it's nice and strong and sturdy and can like take some wear and tear, but it will look like leather and we don't have to go buy leather or find, something. You could just as easily go to like a thrift store and
Get like a leather belt or something like that and cut it up and repurpose it as well. But just for the sake of trying to make everything kind of out of foam and out of what we have already right here without having to go and buy anything, then that's what we're gonna do. And you can use that for all kinds of leather, that same idea for all kinds of leather straps. So reinforce it, cover it with foam. I don't know, if you get a leather belt, you have a little bit more doing it this way, thickness and stuff. Whereas if you go to the thrift store, you're just kind of stuck with whatever they actually have, and that's if they have any leather belts. So let's see. You use those on the TGE Walkman, right? Yeah, the moldable thermoplastic. So I used it. I used Sintra for kind of the main parts of it, but then I used this to make all the buttons. So it was super handy. We could just make the buttons whatever shape we wanted. Nice and easy. Super fun stuff to work with. So yeah, exactly. Those of you that tuned in on the Guardians of the Galaxy Walkman, Star-Lord Walkman, then you saw how we use those to make the buttons. Okay, cool. So I think that this still a little too tacky in some spots, so we'll give that just a little bit longer. In the meantime, let's take this template piece and kind of draw on how we want this overlaying piece to go. So if you guys remember me mentioning that I want to be able to place this actually inside of it. It's just a knife sharpener. Let me see if I can focus in. Focus. There we go. But yeah, it's just a knife sharpener, diamond, like 1000 grit knife sharpener thing. So I kind of want to have this actually be able to be inset into the Pauldron, but have it be able to be removable. So I want kind of like a little thumb spot here where I can kind of pry it up, and then we'll put a magnet down in here. This is metal, so it'll stick to the magnet. We'll just put one magnet down in there just to kind of help keep that in there secure. And so this is we're gonna do this section out of 4mm craft foam. And so I want to kind of draw on what I want that to, path I want that to follow, right? So I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to start with just a pencil. And I want it to fit all the way around. Might need to plan on sliding that out just a little bit more. So for my outline of this, I want to slide that down a little bit further, actually. More like that. Okay, so then that gives me room to kind of have the little thumb. And then be able to still have a gap here. And it's going to kind of get pretty thin right up along here. Just like a thinner gap, and then that gap will kind of grow as it comes down along there. So then once again, the nice thing is that when we're doing this, we don't have to worry about drawing both sides because it's going to be symmetrical. But we will have to figure out how we're going to cut that out. So what I'll do actually, so a good way to be able to take a template that you make and turn it into like bring it into the computer. I learned this from Punish Props, Bill Duran from Punish Props channel. You take your template piece and you put it on like a cutting mat like this, where it has the inches or measurements on there, and then you take a good picture of it and try to get it as straight on as possible with those and then that allows you to be able to then take that photo in to something like Photoshop or Illustrator, that kind of thing, match it up with the inches on the computer to be able to get it to scale, and then you can just trace along the image and be able to create your template. That's what I do to create a lot of the templates that I do for you guys. It starts like this, and then I turn it into a digital form. So let's see. Hey, got my computer up. So there's a contact cement thinner / cleaner. I looked it up. Oh, sweet. My old contact cement is made with acetone, so I would use that to thin it out. Cool. Perfect. Yeah. Thanks for looking that up, Amber. I'll have to check that out. An actual contact cement thinner. Perfect. That would be super helpful to be able to like pour in there and just kind of swish it around and make that last a little bit longer. Okay, so I think that we're ready on this. So it's going to be as easy as just taking the foam and just kind of pinching it together, just like as if we were just doing our demo before. Just want it to kind of push from the bottom up so that it's sharp at that point on the other side, giving us a nice sharp line. So that looks sweet, right? I like that. That's cool. All right, so then the same thing on this side. Okay, pretty cool. That adds a really cool effect, doing those undercuts like that. So let's take a look at what we're seeing here now. So, kind of got this nice sharp edged top on there. And now we're going to just add a second layer on top of that with the 4mm foam. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, since I already took a picture of this other piece, I'm just going to cut out this piece here. Alright. Sweet, Amber, thank you. Yeah, message those, send those on Facebook or something. That'd be awesome. Yeah, it's, I can't believe how small of a crowd we have tonight. Apparently, I guess, making a pauldron is not that exciting for people, huh? So this is the part where the knife sharpener is going to sit down in. So gotta cut that section out. And then there's our piece that we're going to cut out of the 4mm foam. So here's my 4mm foam. This is craft foam I got from, or foam I got from TNT Cosplay Supply. So it's only 4mm thick. I believe this is the 4. So we did this part out of the 6mm, so you can see the difference in thickness there. And then we did this part out of the foam floor mats, which is 10mm. So that's 10mm. This is the 6. And then we're going to be doing the 4. So, yeah, I got this from TNT Cosplay Supply. They're awesome. Smooth on both sides, which is great. And once again on this as well, we're going to, I want to cut a slight bevel on it along the edges as well for this. So we just got to keep that in mind. give myself enough space, which I almost didn't do last time. Learning my lesson. Let's get this further up on here so that you guys can see on the camera. So I need to make sure to give myself some space around to cut that bevel. So same thing again, I'm just going to use these pins to kind of pin it down, hold it flush up against the foam. I don't really have a thumb for where to put pins in to hold it down. It's just kind of like, I definitely hit up the corners, and then it's like a matter of just anywhere I think that it kind of looks like it might pop up, like on this edge here, the curve. Edges that might decide they want to pop up. Now I have to kind of plan for being able to draw on the inside of that as well. So Creme d'Avella, welcome! Hopefully I said that right. It's nice to see, I guess not seeing really, I'm not seeing faces, but it's nice to see some new profiles on here. People I haven't seen on the live stream before, so welcome. Bow, bow, bow. Let's see, we started at 8:30-ish. Now it's 9:50, so we've got another like 40 minutes or so. So that's good. We're gonna get some pretty good. We're gonna get pretty far on this tonight, so I'm pretty excited. So I need to remember on this inside, I'm wanting to cut just straight cuts, but on this outside of it, I'm wanting to do a bevel. Okay. All right. So take these pins, put them back away. Alright. Cool, guys. This is going to look super awesome. Alrighty. So, pull out the handy dandy heat knife. And let's go ahead and get the outside of this cut first, and then we'll cut out the inside. So once again, I'm going to be cutting a bevel. I'm going to start past the line. And then here, this is kind of an inside corner, so I can't really do that, but I just try to get it the best I can. And this stuff's quite thin, so at only the 4 millimeters. The bevel is probably not going to be as apparent as on the big thick foam, but I think it'll be a nice subtle detail. Sorry if I'm off screen. My cord only reaches so far on this thing. To try to get back at that angle. Okay. Okay, sweet. So let's get this big thing of foam out of the way. That small piece now. Anybody have any questions or anything as to what we've done so far, or if you weren't here before, what in the world we're doing, that kind of thing? So I'm gonna try to actually I was trying to make this match the other one a little bit better, but I think I might have just made it worse. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay, I'll stop messing with that. Alright, let's see. We got Grant Kinnear. Always jump in so late, catch me up. Alright, no problem. So we're working on the we're working on this pauldron here, and so we've done a couple pieces before. We did let's switch to this so you can see these better. So we did this piece here, that fits up on the shoulder here like this, and then we today we just did this piece. We did some cool undercuts on it to give it like this nice sharp looking edge on the outside. Go on here. And now we're just doing these like extra little detail pieces, which is this, which is going to sit in on top of this overlay on top of it. So, and it's probably hard to see kind of there on the small camera. But so yeah, we're just kind of doing the smaller detail pieces now. We got some of those pieces done. We're cutting it out on a 4mm foam, EVA foam, and yeah, it's going great. We're excited, having fun. Hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully that catches you up. But yeah, a fictitious character, cosplay apprentice character that I drew up and thought it would be a fun one to just kind of go through making a pauldron. And so that's what we're doing. Yeah, and for any of you guys that didn't get in till late too, and you want to see kind of the rest of what we did, catch up, I'll leave the replay up for the next week before I take it down, just like until the next live stream. And YouTube lets you watch things in like 1.5 and 2 times speed now too, so you can catch everything and watch it in half the time. So you're not having to try to skip through and feel like you might be missing something, or not knowing when to stop to listen to what you're wanting to hear. You can just play the whole thing through at 2.5 or 1.5 or 2 times speed now, and they've kind of made that a little bit easier. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Okay, so I wonder if we're going to be able to get if we're going to lose that cool sharp angle that we did. We can cut it into this as well. We just would have to make sure we line it up perfect though. See. Okay. So let's switch camera angles here. So this is kind of what we're looking at here with this overlay piece, right? So that's going to be cool. I think when we glue this down, if we do it right, I think we can maintain that that sharper edge, without having to. Just because I don't know that we'd be able to line it up perfect to get that exact angle. So, but I think when we glue it on, if we do it right, we should be able to maintain that look. So. Try to find the center mark and trace this on so we know where we want to put it. I might even actually use these pins to stick them into place. I think that's probably good there. Well, I don't know. Maybe we do need to cut it in. But with it taped down, with it kind of pinned down here now, let's see. We should be able to kind of draw in. It's just with this foam, it's so thin. We have to be super careful. Okay, so yeah, we're going to try to do a little undercut on this one as well, just to make sure that still maintains that nice sharp angle that we worked so hard for. Okay, so transfer this onto the back side. There, right there. Basically just that corner and this corner, and voila. Well, you guys are sure talkative tonight. It's pretty crazy. Hedgewise, or edgewise. I don't know what the actual saying is. I think I've always said it wrong. Is it can't get a word in hedgewise or edgewise? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so this one's got to be, like, we got to be super careful when we're cutting this. So on this one, I'm going to do more of a 45. I'm just going to do a slight angle on each side. I'm going to sharpen this blade back up first, though. Oh yeah, that makes such a big difference. Having a nice sharp blade. Let's see. Good luck. Well, showing your friend your Star-Lord Walkman. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Love when you guys share stuff. That's great. Yeah, hopefully I'm kind of finishing that up. Hopefully I'll be able to put out like a full normal, I plan on putting out a full normal tutorial for that one. That's kind of a bit more concise, and then also putting out the templates for that. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you guys for the Star-Lord Walkman. Okay. Whew, so that's a little bit scarier, doing it on this thin foam because you don't have as much room to be able to go through before you accidentally cut through it or something, you know? So same thing now on this side. All right. Okay, so let's see. That's gonna line up okay. Yeah, that'll give us our sharper line there. Alright, so contact cement. On this.
You can also use hot glue to do this, if you'd like. You just run the wrist with the hot glue. Comes apart at a little bit lower temperature than this glue would. So if you like left your thing in your piece, your cosplay prop or costumes piece in a hot car, sometimes the hot glue could just kind of cause your whole thing to come apart. So that's why I'm using contact cement. As you can see, I'm taking you know, the same. Anytime you're working with chemical glues and things like that, want to make sure that you're wearing the proper respirator. Doing it in a well-ventilated space, etc. Okay. So we can set that off to the side to kind of dry a little bit. And then, while we're waiting for that, we can do some fun stuff with
When you paint, what do you do? What do you deal with? Question mark. What's better, Plastidip or wood glue? I've seen it both ways. I prefer Plastidip. It's less time consuming. It's super quick to coat your foam. It also gives it a nice flexible layer. So once you put your paint on top of it, it gives the paint a little bit more flex as well. If you're wanting to go for like a stiffer piece, you're really wanting to like stiff it up, then I would say use the wood glue because that's going to dry a lot harder. Longevity wise, you may start to see it's going to make it a little bit more brittle and that kind of thing. But Plastidip's awesome. I use that for all the stuff I do to seal the foam. I'll heat seal it first and then go over it with a Plastidip. If it's, you know, decent temperature out kind of thing, you know, you're looking at 15 to 20 minutes kind of thing before you can put on your first base coat of paint. Dries pretty quick. Dries pretty, adds that nice rubbery texture, gets you a nice flat matte black or whatever color you choose. Nice layer to start from. So I use the Plastidip. I love that. And then yeah, and then I like the Rust-Oleum spray paints, especially for base coats and that kind of thing. I like to lay down a nice base coat of Rust-Oleum. The Rust-Oleum 2x coverage, double coverage paints, and you can just get it like Home Depot, that kind of thing. and I like using those to lay down like a base coat, and then from there, you know, I'll go in, I'll maybe use spray paints and stuff like that, tape stuff off and do some other layers, or I'll just come in and spray paint on, or use acrylics or that kind of thing with a paintbrush and put that on, or do dry brushing and stuff afterwards. I want to get myself an airbrush to be able to do some cool stuff. But anyone seen the mini episode of episode Night of the Doctor, the 8th Doctor's Regeneration? I haven't. I need to get caught up in Doctor Who though. Before I homeschooled and my friend moved away. Friend moved away. He and I used Doctor Who references every day. He would act like the 10th and 11th Doctor around the school. People thought we were crazy. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, no, that's so fun. Good deal. Alright, before all my water boils away here, let's throw some of these in here and let's make ourselves a little ring. I didn't plan out what would be the best way to make a ring. I'm just trying to grab a metal platform. To do this on. So whenever I'm working with the moldable thermoplastic, I like to use a metal surface. I'm planning on getting myself an actual metal table so I can just use that instead of having to pull out cookie sheets all the time. But for now, that's what I got. Okay, we've got about 12 or so minutes left here. So let's jump in. So I wish you guys could see it here, but once you put it in the hot water, it kind of goes from the white to like a transparent. The beads just go transparent. You can see here. And they get moldable, and you can kind of press them all together, all the beads together into one big clump, and then you can shape it like you would Play-Doh or silly putty or something like that into basically whatever you want. So in this instance, we kind of want to roll it out a little bit. Trying to make a pretty decent sized ring out of it. So I'm kind of just rolling it into a large cylinder. I want the ring to be just a little bit bigger. And the great thing about this stuff, like I said before, is like you can just reheat it and reshape it as many times as you want. So there's really like no waste with this, which is really awesome. So I'm going to kind of stick that together right now. It's not going to be perfectly stuck. For now, I'm just going to try to get the basic ring shape, and then get kind of the rest of this all rounded out. And then I'll just heat up just these two ends and really they're a little bit better. So now I like to use the hot water to take it from like beads, the pellet things, into a big bundle, or to be able to kind of put it into a big batch to kind of start to shape. But once I have it rough shaped, kind of shaped roughly into place, from there I like to use a heat gun because I feel like it's a lot better, more like you can get more of the you have more control over what area you're heating that way versus trying to dip it into hot water again or that kind of thing. And you know, you have smaller pieces, you run into problems of not being able to get little small pieces heated right, or you know, you heat more than you need to, or if you throw it back in the hot water it just all melts into a big clump again. So that's kind of what I recommend, is you use the hot water to get it into its initial form, and then from there just use a heat gun or some other heat source that gives you more precise stuff. So all right, Grant, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. When the kids turned off the lights in the bathroom, I would walk toward them and say, "Who turned out the lights? Hey, who turned out the lights? My friend." And I would, "Who turned out the light?" Friend and I would just laugh. That's awesome. Good times. Doctor Who was a lot of fun. I need to get caught up. I haven't been the best at staying up to date since it switched from Matt to the next Doctor after him. So the 12th Doctor, I think. So yeah, I need to get back into it, get caught up. Okay, so I think this is turning out to be a pretty nice little ring here. Then I'm just going to come in. It's still kind of cooling, so we'll let it cool all the way before we do this, but we'll just heat up this edge and then just really stick those together. The nice thing about this stuff is it sticks super well to itself, so we have a whole seamless ring made out of this, which is awesome. And then I don't know if you can see with the angle you guys have, but there's some little, from it cooling while I was working with it, there's some kind of wrinkles and stuff that have gotten into the plastic. That's not a problem at all. Once it all cools all the way through, we'll just heat up that top surface layer, and then we'll just dip our finger in some water and then just like rub it smooth and let it cool, and it'll be perfectly smooth, and we can get a really cool metal look out of this stuff. So I'm going to set that off to the side for it to cool for a second. We'll need to make another ring just like that as well, but we don't need to. You guys saw how I did it, so you don't need to see that again. Okay, so this is ready now. We're just going to press these edges together. Get this sharp angle pressed into this. Okay, so now that's added a nice cool beveled, or a cool sharp angled line on that. And so now we can then take it and overlay it on this. And when we glue that down, then we're going to have a really cool looking piece here. Let's see, switch to this angle. So we get some nice layering going on there. And it'll be cool with the different textures too. I love mixing textures and stuff like that. I think it adds a lot of professionalism and stuff to a cosplay. So, all right. So I'm gonna just kind of quickly pin some of these pieces down, just so we can trace out what we're looking at here. Then also I want to make sure this fits in there okay. That fits in quite well, actually. I think we can even stack a second one in there and it'll make it flush. So we've got that little spot to be able to kind of pry it up. Perfect. So let's just quickly trace around where this is going to go so that we can glue it down. Let's switch back to this camera angle for you guys. See. Others told us we were crazy. The only reason I bought the Lego Dimensions is because it had Doctor Who in it. It's about $130 total, but it was worth it. Whoa! Wow, nice. Serious Doctor Who fan. Have you seen the classic Doctor Who? I've watched some of it. We started watching the old ones, and didn't get too far before we wanted to, like, the new season of the newest one came out, and so then we came back to watch that, and then we didn't watch any more of the older. It's fun to kind of see the progress of where it's come from, as far as at least the effects and stuff. Dance down the halls at school, acting like the 11th Doctor. One gets hostile. You guys are weird. Weird is good, man. Well, I think I'm going to try to make a Baymax costume. Tell my kids to say thank you to people who say they are odd, weird, or not normal. Normalcy is overrated. Totally, Amber. I totally agree. Yeah, no, like, I'm like, people say you're weird, then, like, that's a compliment, man. No one is actually normal. Everybody's weird. In their own way, you know? And that's what's awesome, is that's what makes everybody unique, and everybody has these passions or, you know, things that they're excited about, and it's what makes us us. So I just realized I didn't trace this inside part. I want to make sure that that's outlined, because I don't want to have a bunch of glue in there. I don't want to glue where I don't need to as well. So, okay. Alright, so usually it's best to scuff up this surface with contact cement so that it sticks better. I'm going to just kind of score it a little bit and hit it with the heat gun out of this area that we just drew of where this is, just to kind of give it some more room to adhere to, because I don't really want to do a bunch of sanding. So you can usually take like your Dremel tool or something like that and sand down the area of this rubberized part that you want to glue to, and that usually helps to make sure that your stuff's going to adhere well, but I don't feel like doing that much sanding and kicking up a bunch of foam dust right now, so I'm just going to kind of put some scoring. I'm not cutting super deep on any of this, so just with my sharp blade just kind of going across scuffing up some of the surface area, and then we can hit it with the heat gun. It'll cause some of those pores, those scoring to kind of open up a little bit, give us some room for the glue to really kind of stick to. In there. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. Yeah, you're seeing that, right? Okay, awesome, awesome. See, so now if we had done the hot glue, we would have been kind of in trouble here because just that amount of heat would have caused that hot glue to soften up, and it would have been started to separate there on that, along that line. All right, 10:32. Let's see. How you guys feeling? Should we just hurry and glue this together, or are you guys done? Apologies, my comments aren't about cosplay. I just wanted to share some fun stories. Yeah, no worries, man. Totally. I love reminiscing and stuff. Not a problem. And it's about Doctor Who, so it's that's fine. We talk all kinds of nerd stuff here, even aside from cosplay. Normal is an illusion. What is normal for a spider is chaos for the fly. Nice, good quote. The second Doctor's sonic screwdriver was actually a pen light with sound effects played in the background. I had a friend whose hair looked exactly like the second Doctor's hair. Whoa, sweet. That's so awesome. Yeah, I love seeing like those older shows and the stuff that hey, Tyler's back. Cool, cool. We're just gonna we're starting to run out of time here, but we're gonna just quickly glue this together to kind of get a look at how this is looking and how it's coming together with this piece added on. And we call it a night for tonight, but let's get these glued on. So we're gonna go put the contact cement on all along here, inside of this area, and then all along the back of this, especially along the edges on the inside here and along these edges out here. Those are the super important areas that we need to make sure we get. So mask back on, because this is going to be a lot of glue. Alrighty, here goes nothing. Obviously, I need to get me some contact cement thinner. Because, yeah, usually this stuff is a lot thinner. I'm just trying to use up what I have in this bottle. Okay. So now we kind of got it everywhere.
right along this edge, I'm just going to kind of carefully spread it on this edge here as carefully as I can with how thick and goopy. Okay, and then after that, I just want to be careful along this line, mostly just because I don't want glue coming out, showing up all over the outside of this, because we want that cool texture look, and we're going for look on the outside. So we're trying to keep it as tidy as I can along the seam lines, along the edges, both so that the edges stick down nice and tight with no problems, but also so that we don't have glue showing all over outside of the lines. Yeah, sorry this isn't a very good representation of what the glue will actually look like. I'm just trying to use this up, not have it go to waste. So. But once I order some of that contact cement thinner that Amber sent me the links to, then I'll be set to jet. Make my contact cement go a lot further. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of somewhatly try to spread out what's on the inside of the lines, just so that there's some glue everywhere. Okay, starting to get, because it's drying on me, so that's probably sufficient there for now. I'm gonna pop open the, let's see, where did my little screwdriver, there it is.
Clara, hey! Thought I heard a familiar voice coming from Ty's phone. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's so fun to see you guys, or hear from you guys. Favorite episodes are the Night of Doctor and the Day of the Doctor. So Fifth Doctor had some cool special box that the power of a bomb or something like that. All tissue box with color straws and plastic. That's so awesome. Yeah. Clara, thank you so much for saying hi.
so fun to hear from you guys. My water is about all boiled out, so I just turned that off because we're not going to need that again tonight. But okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more contact cement to this. To get some of the thinner, better stuff in there. Okay, that should go a little bit smoother for us now, hopefully, for this last bit. So there's still going to be some of the thick stuff left in there. There we go. Now you can see how there we go. That's much better. Much more like it. Spreads. I should have done that sooner. Lessons learned, right? Okay, that was much easier to spread. Much cleaner process there. Okay. Oh, I'm getting stuck. Okay, so that's going to need to dry for just a second. So while that's drying, set these guys off to the side. Bring this into view here. So now you can see this is like a nice hard plastic. So we're just going to heat up this these pieces right here, we're gonna stick those together. Okay. So I just went until it kind of got transparent there.
And we want to press these together till we don't see a seam anymore. And then it's better if you have a bowl of water or something like that you can kind of dip your fingers in, and then you can just kind of rub it smooth. But since I don't have a bowl on me, I'm just gonna use what I got. Okay, so now we're gonna let that kind of dry or cool in place there. And you can always you can just drop this into a bowl of cold ice water or something like that. That'll help it cool quicker. Or you can, for a long time too, I'd like put it in the freezer or that kind of thing. Okay, cool. We're gonna set that off to the side. And let's check out the comments here. What do we got? What have we got? I'm gonna bring this into frame here. Have a nice dark thing on the back. Hey, Welby, what's up? Welcome. Oh, they're explaining. Yeah, there's a character in Doctor Who named Clara, and so that's probably what that was about. Let's see. You're like, what? On Amazon Video, you can find The Night of the Doctor and a Doctor Who documentary. It's a true story of how the first Doctor's episodes and the TARDIS were made. It's really interesting. Oh, that sounds awesome. Like how they made the props and everything for it.
That sounds super legit. Cool. All right, well, that's good. This one's still tacky. So, the advantage to having the contact cement the right way too is you're able to spread it thin enough that it dries a lot quicker than this, which is just like a mess of glue there. But it's all good. So, giving that just a little bit longer to dry on each of those. In the meantime, let's see. Okay, it's 10:50. We went a little bit over tonight. I apologize.
That glue's still pretty stinky. Anyway, so yeah, tons of fun tonight. Just gonna let that dry for just a little bit longer here before we try to throw it on. But let's see, do we have any For those of you that may not have been tuned in earlier, feel free to request permission to join the Build Guild. I have a link in the description leading you, it'll take you there. Yeah, love to see you guys join on that. And I'll get everybody added that's requested during the live stream right after we finish up. And it's tons of fun. Great place to hang out and help each other out, grow, learn more stuff, share your cool stuff with everyone. Okay, so for just a quick second here, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to try something. I just noticed something here on the YouTube stream. I'm going to see if I can play an ad. Just kind of like take a brief break from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and glue that together and then take a look at what it looks like. So I'm going to try this. Hopefully everything works out okay. So we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. I pushed it. I don't know if it did anything. So you guys will have to let me know in the chat if that did anything. Now I pushed it again, so we'll see if it plays another one. I'm not sure how that works. I've never done it, but hopefully that works, and then we can kind of do some little brief breaks like that during the live streams so that I can get some ad revenue from doing these that'll help me be able to continue to for you guys. So let's see. The living plastic that attacked the Ninth Doctor actually started with the Third Doctor. The classic episode in the Third Doctor's era is called The Three Doctors, where the Second Doctor goes to the Third Doctor's TARDIS and says, "You have redecorated. I don't like it." I just like the 10th said in the Day of the Doctor. Nope, the ad didn't work? Okay. Oh well. It was worth a try. Okay, well, let's get this thing glued together tonight. So, I want to be super careful. I'll make sure I keep my nice sharp angles on this. But at the same time, I kind of want to start in the middle and get this all put down right. But, I mean, I did the outline, so we should be able to just kind of follow that. So I'm just going to start on this one side here and go through gluing it. Oh, it did work. It did play an ad? Cool. PlayStation ad. Wonder if they did that on purpose or not. Probably. They are pretty good at knowing what ads to play and stuff. And with mine being like a channel, like cosplay tutorial channel and stuff, they play a lot of like superhero trailers and gaming stuff on mine. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was definitely done purposefully. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I get what you're saying, Lego. If they did that on purpose for the 10th Doctor saying the same thing like the 3rd Doctor did, I bet that they did. Just to kind of like an ode to the old Doctors kind of thing would be my guess. Cool. I kind of want to make sure these edges get stuck down nice and tight. Okay, let's see, what did I miss? happened to say exactly what 10 said. I wonder if that was on purpose. Didn't work for Welby. Have an iPhone, not sure if they played part in it. I don't know. That's not they. Yeah, oh well, cool. Well, at least it played an ad for one person, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to play with that a little bit more on our next time and see if that works. Because that would be a good way to help. Because these run for so long, you know, and we're getting some awesome watch time on them. It would help out my channel to get a couple ads during this. All right, guys, here we go. Let me take this off. Okay, so let's switch camera angles and take a look at this. Let's see, where's the best place to hold it? Right here. Okay. So it's looking pretty cool, I think. And then we're going to be able to have this sit inside of there. I'm thinking I'll just like drill a little hole in here and super glue a magnet in that then this will just go boop, suck down onto. And then that'll sit in there. And the idea is while we're making this, I might as well make it something that's applicable to the cosplay apprentice and have a use to it, so I can like wear it, and then if I need to sharpen my knife, I just pop that out, snap that back in. There we go. Then it's not just a pauldron, but it's also a functional pauldron. So, yeah, I think that's looking pretty cool. It's kind of got like a little bit of a medieval crossed with like futuristic type of feel to it, I feel like. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is that looking pretty cool? Yeah, I think those bevels turned out nice. Adds a nice dynamic to it. One other thing we're going to do, if you look at the design here, we won't do it tonight, but later I'm going to add some like little rivets right here. And then the same on the back side. And then we're going to also take the ring or we need to attach this to the shoulder piece, right? And so we'll figure out how we want to do that. Probably use some elastics or something and some glue to do that. And then we're going to create the strap that goes around and how we're going to like attach that on and everything. Attach them all together so that it can kind of cinch onto the shoulder like that. So anyway, yeah, that's in the plans for next time. I'm super excited for all of you guys that tuned in. Thank you so much for your comments. Let's see, we had Welby saying, looks really good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting pretty excited. It's turning out pretty cool. I think that especially paint on there, and this kind of has like a metallic look, and we've got this leather look here, and then we've got the cool difference in textures between here and here. I think it's really going to start to have like look really super awesome. So, okay. Well, anyway, we were way over time. Sorry, we went 2.5 hours tonight. It's not usual. Thank you guys so much. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody that participated in the comments and in contributing to the channel. I appreciate you guys' support. Make sure to check out my other videos if this is your first time. Or if you haven't seen the other ones, I got lots of great tutorials on making different props and costumes. So check those out, share them with your friends. Make sure to like, subscribe, and cosplay on, my friends. See ya. See ya.